It's time to get your mind right with the Mind on Greatness podcast crew. Welcome to the Mind on Greatness podcast show.
Let's get it.
What's the deal, baby? You already know it is the big boss. How bounce down, can't poke through the door. Man, we here. We back again. Happy New Year to everybody. I pray for blessings and doors and opportunities to open for everybody, man. It's the Mind of Greatness podcast. I'm one of the hosts. We got Mike right there. Shout out to Mike. You know what I'm saying? We got that boy Brody on the hustle, ready for the tussle. Shout out to all my soldiers. Thank you for your service. This is the Mind of Greatness podcast, week 17 reaction, where we going to sit here and talk about, the games that, we talked about previously. You know what I mean? We just going to see if we got some things right. So we're going to start it off proper. You know what I mean? I'm going to do something a little different. We're going to start with the hometown team, right? We're going to talk about Texans versus Titans. You know what I mean? A game that the Texans needed to win. They took care of business. So, Mike, I want you to give me your synopsis, your soliloquy. I want you to give me what did you see? Let me know something. What you saw in that game?
Man, I see that the Texans actually did the right thing of, letting CJ Stroud take a couple weeks off, you know what I'm saying? Because he came back and was on fire, you know what I'm saying? And, bro, he looked like he ain't missed a beat. We can't even, it's almost disrespect that we almost calling him a rookie right now, you know what I'm saying? And he is, at this point. The way he is reading the game and reading defenses is on a whole nother level. So I'm shocked at the fact that I'm not shocked, but I'm proud of my Texans for holding Derrick Henry to 40-something yards. You know what I'm saying? That and actually holding him to, I think the previous game before they played him, they held him to like 9 yards. You know what I'm saying? And Derrick Henry has been known to go off on the Texans. They had that boy out there looking like I ain't never seen him stand on the sideline look defeated. Like just going into the game and still look defeated.
Okay.
So I'm proud of that fact, and I think the Titans are a little bit better with some Ryan Tannehill at the hole. You know what I'm saying? That I feel like with Ryan Tannehill being at the mantle of the offense, you know what I'm saying? I feel like he keep them on page. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of times that Will Levis would go off script, and it seemed like when from my eye test, it looked like Will Levis is playing backyard football. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't look like he actually has a grasp of defenses and how are they coming at him to defend him. He hasn't grasped that concept yet. So that being said, I look for the Titans to look at Joe Flacco in the offseason to sign. You know what I'm saying? To keep, keep that quarterback room cheap. You drafted 2 quarterbacks over the last 2 years. You drafted Will Levis in the 3rd round, and you drafted Will Levis in the 2nd round, and you draft
Malik Willis.
Malik Willis in the 3rd. Malik Willis in the 3rd round in the previous year before that. So be looking for them to try to sign a older quarterback, preferably Joe Flacco. You know what I'm saying? That will help them out tremendously. That's all I got on that. Be what you got.
Okay, for sure. We got the Titans versus the Texans. Good win for the Texans. Bringing CJ Stroud back, as you mentioned. I feel like too. I agree with you as a whole that holding him out for these 2 weeks, whether he was ready and that was a good thing for him. And bringing CJ Stroud back, you know what I'm saying? He was 24-32 for 213 yards with 1 touchdown. I feel like CJ Stroud's attitude and his mentality and his poise is infectious throughout this Texans organization, because you can see the last 2 weeks without CJ Stroud, it was kind of like a debacle. It was a mess all over the place. You know what I'm saying? It was hard for them to figure out which way they were going to go on offense, defense, and special teams. And now that CJ Stroud is back for one game, it feels like the team is a little bit more organized with him at the helm, starting at quarterback. So I like this win for the Texans. Again, this is a big win, but then again, it wasn't so big because the rest of the AFC South continued to win as well. You know what I'm saying? The Texans was looking help from the Panthers and other teams elsewhere, to kind of slow down the rest of the team so the Texans can get up ahead on the record and, you know what I'm saying, go ahead and then transition smooth into the playoffs. But again, Glad to have CJ Stroud back. You know what I'm saying? If the Texans go ahead and win out, you know what I'm saying, and they can beat the Colts, you know what I'm saying, this last game of the season and get into the playoffs, I still think it'll be a little bit struggle for them because they're not 100% healthy. But at the same time, this will be a good overall story to end the season on with, in the playoffs as a whole, as a team, because they get to learn as a young squad, what it's like to be in the playoffs, to transition from the regular season into the playoffs. Because a lot of teams don't understand when you go from the regular season and go into the playoffs is completely different. New things open up. The playbooks are wide open. You know what I'm saying? Different strategies come into play. Different players come into play. Special teams take a different turn. The fakes being implemented. So for the Texans, if they go ahead and get this win next week and in the final week of the season against the Colts, I feel like this would be a good morale booster for them. Again, we're not in the more victories, but at the same time, this will help them put them ahead of the rest of the AFC South when it comes to next year's playoff season and regular season. And then I want to mention Devin Singletary. Now the Texans, we done told you get this man 20 plus carries when it comes to Devin Singletary. Y'all shorted him. Y'all gave him 16 carries for 80 yards. Y'all didn't get him involved in the passing game. He only had 3 touches for literally no yards. You know what I'm saying? So you have to implement Devin Singletary. I can care less about Damian Pierce right now. For him, this season is a wash. You know what I'm saying? Bring him back next season, try it again. But right now, your bell cow at running back is Devin Singletary. 16 carries is not enough. 20 plus carries is what we need from him, and he will get you 100 plus yards, and he will get you in the end zone. I guarantee he has not failed since y'all gave him 20 plus carries. So again, welcome back, CJ Stroud. Happy New Year to you again. Get Devin Singletary the ball, and that's all I got for this game.
I mean, y'all answered both of y'all soliloquies were very good. All I gotta say is this: Texans moving forward, you guys have to basically run the ball. That's the recipe for everything to open up offensively. I know CJ Stroud is your guy, but to help out your guy, you have to get that run game going, right? I don't care who at wide receiver. If you run that football, some dude's gonna be open. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. You know what I mean? So moving forward, I would like the Texans to really invest in running the football because it seems like a lot of people, they on purpose abandon the run. You know what I mean? And there's a game that we're gonna talk about in a couple of minutes that I was very appalled, frustrated, and irate. Those are the words that I'm gonna use.
I'm right there with you. I know who you're talking about.
But we ain't gonna talk about that yet. We're gonna talk about that MVP candidate though. We gonna move on. Ravens versus Dolphins, right? Lamar Jackson put on a masterclass performance, 5 touchdowns, 321, 18 for 21. He even throw that many. That's crazy. He even throw that many passes. But he signed, still and delivered, and they dominated the Dolphins. And the Dolphins are who you thought they were. They soft. They toilet tissue. They get wet. They get ripped through. So, B, I want your opinion on this game. Did Lamar Jackson sign, seal, and deliver that MVP? Did he lock it up? Right? Ain't nobody getting it. And are the Ravens Super Bowl bound? Let me know something.
Okay, for sure. You see this hand right here? Hands down. No more hands raised. Lamar Jackson is MVP. That is no questions, no more questions asked about it. He's played the 49ers, Brock Purdy, and Christian McCaffrey was in that game. He put it to rest. Next game, he plays Tua and Tyreek Hill, other MVP candidates. He put it to rest. Hands down, Lamar Jackson, MVP. Now, again, you mentioned the stats 18 of 21 for 321 yards and 5 TDs. You know what I'm saying? That's not a lot of passes. That's not a lot of passes at all. That's not a lot of passes attempts. And he had 5 TDs within 21 attempts. Says something about that Dolphins defense, but also says a lot more about Lamar Jackson, how he's matured from the pocket because he didn't have a lot of rushing yards in this game either. I don't know the exact number, but he did not have a lot of rushing yards. So you cannot say nothing about the maturation process when it comes to Lamar Jackson. He is the MVP right here. Another big guy in this game, Justice Hill. I think he had 3 carries for 48 yards, 5 receptions for 64 yards, and 1 touchdown. That's 112 total yards offense from the line of scrimmage. You know what I'm saying? Big game from him. Especially with them missing the speed to keep Mitchell. He's out for the rest of the season. Then not only that, they got behind Gus Edwards. He did his thing too. He had a handful of carries. He had 68 yards, and I believe he had a touchdown on the ground as well. If you watch this game against the Dolphins, you would feel like he had about 1,000 yards rushing against the Dolphins because every time he touched the ball, I swear to God, when he made contact at the line of scrimmage, he was dragging 3, 4 Dolphins the entire way. I'm like, man, this dude got to have about 200 yards rushing, but apparently he didn't. But it looked like he had more. And again, I cannot say enough about Lamar Jackson, but he did his thing. He got Isaiah Likely in the end zone with only 2 catches. He got Zay Flowers in the end zone with only 3 catches. He hit Odell Beckham for a nice long one with only 1 catch. You know what I'm saying? He's doing his thing. He hit Patrick Ricard in the end zone. That's the old school fullback, big dude, and he put it up there so nicely. He grabbed it one hand and made it look easy. I know Ricard was like, man, why you throw it to me like that, bro? Man, put it in the bread basket next time. You feel me?
Yeah.
But anyways, you know what I'm saying? Lamar Jackson is the MVP of the league this season. It's evident. It's no more questions about it. He's played the last 4 candidates that was up in the discussion. He's outperformed all of them from Christian McCaffrey, Purdy, Hill, and Tua. All that is put to rest. And as far as the Ravens going into the playoffs, I believe the Ravens are the team to beat. They are going to the Super Bowl because I will mention this as far as the defense. The defense will allow you to get some yards. They will allow you to get some yards. That would allow you to get to the end zone. They'll let you touch it once, but after that, enough is enough. It's proven the last 2 weeks. They let McCaffrey get in the end zone. They let him get some yards, and they said, "All right, McCaffrey, that's enough for you. That's enough for you." This game, they let A Chain go off. They ain't let him get in the end zone. They let Hill get a little bit. They ain't let him get in the end zone. You know what I'm saying? They did their thing. Not the Dolphins, excuse me. The Ravens defense are doing their thing. You can get some yards on 'em. You may touch the end zone once, but after that, that's a no-no. Enough is enough. And the way they playing football right now is well rounded. And then keep in mind too, they're not even playing with a full defense. They're not even playing with all their starters. They playing with backups and third strings right now. And all them boys is going off. They got the task at hand is understood. Harbaugh got them boys lined up to go to the Super Bowl, and it's gonna be tough for anybody. Right now, the NFC is shaking. They shaking in their boots. If you got to go against the Ravens in the Super Bowl, you in trouble. The AFC, I don't think the Ravens worry about them at all. I don't think the Ravens worry about them at all. But anyways, I'll move on to the Dolphins real quick. The Dolphins got out to their usual fast start, but again, they couldn't maintain that pace. They got out too fast. They got out of breath. They couldn't keep it up. And then again, like you mentioned earlier, physicality is not a thing for the Dolphins. Not at all. When they start running the ball, whoever number 45 is for the Dolphins, he needs to be fired. Because every time I see Justice Hill and Gus Edwards, he was on the screen. He was getting highlighted on. Whether it was pass, running, routes. So number 45 need to be fired for the Dolphins. But other than that, I ain't got nothing else to say about the Dolphins. They need to work on some physicality come next season. They're gonna get into the playoffs, of course, but at the same time, focus on next season. Get strong, learn how to hit hard or do something because that too cute speed stuff is no good for me. But that's all I got on this game.
Man, that was good. That was good. That was good, B. You know what I'm saying? I
Appreciate
like
it.
that. For the Dolphins, for me, I think, you know what I'm saying, they just got to get a little bit more healthy. You know what I'm saying? Right now, the speed game is not keeping them healthy right now. You know what I'm saying? The style of football that they play, it's not healthy football. You know what I'm saying? There's certain times that you got to bring speed, and at certain times you got to be smash mouth and hit you in the mouth type deal. You know what I'm saying? Power runs. You know what I'm saying? Play action passes, not cute play action passes, more like power style. You know what I'm saying? And I still don't believe in Tua, like Tua actually winning the game for them. It's all play call right now for Tua. If you watch Tua right now, I don't. And if he was to be put in a Bill Belichick, offense or something like that, where he would have to, use his arm more, use his mind more, he's not all that good. I don't think Tua is keeping up with, certain styles of teams that are just putting up points like that, which are the Ravens. The Ravens they got the MVP, you know what I'm saying, up front, you know what I'm saying, without a question. You know, um, he's definitely my favorite quarterback to watch, you know what I'm saying, at a certain extent to where he does things at a level to where it looks like a child's game. Like Lamar makes the game look like a child's game, and his offensive coordinator now is making it even worse. You know what I'm saying? Because of the fact that the Greg Roman offense was cool, using Lamar's feet in a power style, running style, running Lamar damn near every game. About Lamar's probably getting 10 runs a game. You know what I'm saying? In the Greg Roman offense. You know what I'm saying? With this offense, it's so more like he's running if he has to, or he feels like, oh yeah, I'm about to take this shit over type
Right.
deal. You know what I'm saying? And it's dangerous. It's really dangerous. And that defense behind them, I don't know what you talking about. They giving up yards and stuff like that. I'm not feeling that. They not. You come up there thinking that you cute and stuff on offense, it ain't gonna happen for you with Baltimore's defense.
Most definitely.
Cody, what you got for us?
Oh man, y'all touched on everything, man. Like I said before, Lamar Jackson is the MVP. Um, he's showing that. He's showing maturity. Like I said before, the Dolphins with that speed offense, it's cool. It works for a little bit, but when you make Tua, what's it? Well, I forgot to say his name. Tyle Bagaloga, whatever his name is. He, when you have him hold on to the ball, he's inefficient, right? Tua likes to get that ball out of his hand. 1, 2, 3, ball out. 1, 2, 3, ball out. 1, 2, ball out. Right? When you make him hold on to that ball, that's when he's more keen to make mistakes. And a lot of people in the NFL are starting to see that. Right? They're starting to see, okay, boom. If we make him hold on to that football, he'll make a mistake. He'll throw an interception. Right? He's the weak link on that offense. I know he was trying to be an NFL MVP, but he is the weak link on that offense. And Baltimore took away his quick reads. They made him hold on to the ball and be like, all right, use your IQ and beat us. And that's the remedy, and that's the problem with the Dolphins. If Tua does not fix that in the playoffs or even next year, he might get cut from that team or traded, and they might go get somebody else. You get what I mean? Because everybody else on that offense, they good to go. You know what I mean? Tyree, Jalen Waddle, Mostert, you got A-Chain, you got the tight end. Like that team is ready to go. They just need that quarterback that's going to be able to adapt, right? And that speed game, like I said, the blueprint is out on that already. Make Tua Tagovailoa hold the ball longer than what he need to, right? So good job by the Baltimore Ravens. Good job by Lamar Jackson. Just being physical with them. I don't see. I'm be honest with you. I don't see the Dolphins making it past the second round. If they in the first round, they're gonna get. If they play that physical team in the first round, they might get bounced out in the
Shit,
first round.
depending on who they face,
Yeah.
it's gonna look real ugly. It's gonna look real ugly.
Week 18 to tell a lot because they got the Bills. So week 18 to tell a lot if they ready for that physicality and to go into the playoffs with that. Week 18 to say a lot about them.
Yeah. So we're gonna segue into the next game: Chiefs versus Bengals. Mike, we're gonna start with you. You know what I mean? What you thought about that game? Do you think the Bengals, did they let the Chiefs off the hook? Because there was a portion of the game the Bengals was up, right? Do you feel like they let them off the hook, or do you think, light skinned Patty Mahomes with the Jericho juice, you feel like that boy, he that dude? Let me know something.
Man, I think overall the Chiefs is a better mentally team. They may not have the better overall roster, but since of the fact that they won so many Super Bowls and they've been there so many times, like you really gotta come into it's a real fight to knock them out. You know what I'm saying? They not finna go out, you know what I'm saying, like no punks. You know what I'm saying? It's more of the fact like they be having no name players playing big. You know what I'm saying? At big moments. You know what I'm saying? Um, so it, the Bengals just got beat by a better team. The Bengals right now without Joe Burrows is not a team, not a team that can compete. Not a team that can compete with the other AFC teams. Hell, the Bengals can't compete with the Dolphins right now. You know what I'm saying? We was down on the Dolphins for a little bit, but if they came against if it was a Bengals versus a Dolphins game, the Dolphins finna wipe the floor with them. They can't. Hell, the Texans wiped the floor with the Bengals. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of AFC teams right now. Without them having their captain, they're not they're not competing at all. So yeah, that's all I got for that game. Be what you got for us.
Okay, for sure. I agree with that. I can attest to that. I think Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and the rest of that Chiefs organization, knowing that Joe Burrow's not playing this game, they know that all they had to do was stay close enough and fight to the end, and they were gonna come out. They were gonna come out victorious. But I will say this: Patrick Mahomes went 21 to 29, 245 yards and one touchdown. I challenged him. I challenged Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? I said he needed to step up because if you go back and look at the track record, they've lost 3 games in a row at home. Not only that, while they were losing these 3 games in a row, you got Patrick Mahomes imploding on the sideline on Coach Andy Reid. You know what I'm saying? Passing numbers were down. You know what I'm saying? They needed this win bad. It didn't matter who they was playing. I don't care if it was the Texans, the Bengals, the Saints, the Cowboys. They needed this win bad, and they needed to win at home, and they needed to get back on track because I thought if they would have lost this game headed into the playoffs, they was gonna be a wild card and they would have got bounced as a wild card, and that's not a good look for somebody who was supposed to be as great as Patrick Mahomes. All that money they just paid you, all the accolades you supposedly got, all the Super Bowls you got. If you would have lost this game to Joe Burrow-less Bengals, then it wouldn't have looked good for you in the future. You know what I'm saying? You and Andy Reid relationship would have been in question going in the next season. It would have been like, who are they going to get at receiver to help Patrick Mahomes? It would have made you look completely different, in my opinion, in my point of view. But at the same time, this is a good win for Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. But at the same time, the star of this game was not Patrick Mahomes. It was the running back, Isaiah Pacheco, because again, my boy K Poe had challenged y'all and said, y'all needed, how you said, run the ball. Y'all needed to run the ball, and that's what Isaiah Pacheco did. He ran the ball 18 times for a buck 30, and he caught 7 passes for 35 yards and a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? If he doesn't do this in this game, I believe the Bengals win this game. I'm not gonna say easy, but I believe the Bengals win this game by a field goal. If Isaiah Pacheco doesn't take on this role right here, because other than that, I mean, Rasheed Rice he did have a big part in this game. He had 4 catches for 100 plus yards. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't have a touchdown though. So Pacheco did what he had to do to help Mahomes, Andy Reid, and this Chiefs defense aid their win against the Bengals. But at the same time, I still see the Bengals. I mean, not the Bengals, the Chiefs being a little bit shaky in the playoffs, depending on who they match up against stylistically. Because right now they don't have that go-to receiver. Right now, Kelsey isn't playing the best football he's normally playing. I don't know if what's her name, Taylor Swift didn't took his mojo or whatever, but he has not been playing the same football, and I don't like it. And right now, Patrick Mahomes is struggling without his guy Kelsey, and he doesn't really have a receiver to go to other than Rasheed Rice. So if the Chiefs have to be matched up against somebody like the Bills and or the Jaguars, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna go on record and say this. If they matched up against the Jaguars in the playoffs, and this is with or without sunshine at quarterback. You know what I'm saying? I think the Chiefs will struggle against these two teams in the first round of the playoffs. Especially, well, right now they don't have to travel to Buffalo because they got this win, so they saved their butts right here. So they don't have to travel to Buffalo in the first round to play the Bills. But at the same time, I think they struggle stylistically in the matchup against the Jaguars and the Bills in the first round of playoffs. But again, good win for the Chiefs. As far as the Bengals, again, I still like Jake Brown. I still like him at quarterback. You know what I'm saying? He was the backup. He probably didn't expect to play at all this season. Didn't expect to play at all once Joe Burrow came back. But unfortunately, he did. He's came in. He's done what he needed to do to get this team in a favorable place. But at the same time, going down the stretch, I don't think the Bengals have enough to go into the playoffs and actually win in the playoffs. And that's even if they make the playoffs because they need a lot. They need a lot to happen right here for them to get back in the playoff picture. And I don't think it's gonna happen in favor of them get back into the playoff picture. But the Bengals have a lot to address going into the offseason. They need to get Burrow healthy. They need to get some more playmakers on the defensive end. They got to start figuring out what they're gonna do with Higgins. They need to start figuring out what they're gonna do with Mixon. They got a lot to figure out. But again, overall, a decent season for the Bengals from the way it started and how it's gonna end up. But again, that's all I got for this game. Good win for the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes.
the Chiefs in this game play great situational football. They understand the moments when they need to step up. Like Mike pointed out, they have experience in winning Super Bowls and going into playoffs and, winning marquee games. You know what I mean? And if you don't have that experience in that particular area, they will beat you, right? They will be able to rise and overcome. And they faced adversity, so they know what it's like. You know what I mean? When you're in an adverse situation, you know how to perform when you get in that moment. You know how to. Some dudes who ain't been in that moment may panic. They may not know what to do, or they may overthink stuff. So that's what kind of helped them out. But like y'all pointed out, if they play against that right team, which I think the team they stay away from is Buffalo. You know what I mean? I think Buffalo, and I'm gonna keep it 1,000. That boy Josh Allen been on the other side of he lost to the Chiefs, right? So this could be his year where he finally knocked Patrick Mahomes off. You know what I mean? They remember those days, sitting on the other side. Y'all remember Stephon Diggs was looking at the field, you know what I'm saying, while confetti falling. You know what I mean? Y'all remember that year Josh Allen went off. You know what I mean? But Patrick Mahomes went off as well. You know what I mean? And they made that game win the play. So, but like I said before, that's a team to me they need to stay away from. If the Jaguars had, sunshine, I would give them more of a shot. You know what I'm saying? But with Beathard or Beathard, whatever his name is, I don't see them getting the job done. You know what I'm saying? But like I said before, the Chiefs, they got a lot going on internally. You got Travis Kelce. Y'all forget that during the season he said he contemplated retirement. Right? He's getting a little glimpse of the podcast life. He got a podcast with his brother. He getting a glimpse of that. And I don't think he all in on football. That's just my take on it. I don't see that same Travis Kelce that was passionate about football. I see a Travis Kelce that's kind of going through the motions. That's what I see. You know what I mean? Patrick Mahomes is passionate about football, but not Travis Kelce. You know what I mean? And I think this team currently has constructed, if they get a bad matchup, like against the Bills, they will get bounced. Even if they survive the Bills and they run into the Ravens, that's it for them. Body bag them and toe tag them. Tear them up.
If they run into the Texans gonna dog them. I ain't gonna lie.
Facts.
The Texans
I
will
think
dog them.
Facts. As efficient as CJ Stroud is,
The
facts.
Texans will dog them.
Facts. You know what I mean? I 100% believe it.
This ain't the same Texans that got broke up with Deshaun Watson and J.J. Watt, Jadavian Clowney, all them. They had a squad, but this ain't the same Texans. The quarterback is a lot better. You know what I'm saying?
Not even a quarterback. We gonna throw that out. It's that defensive line of the Texans. That defensive line.
I don't give a damn. Shot at Deshaun Watson.
That defensive line.
Bro, what are you doing to this day since you got paid? Joe Flacco looked better. It looked like the team is in they in a situation where they gotta choose, but they can't choose because this contract is so goddamn high.
Yeah,
but you don't play good. You don't play good, Deshaun. You're not good right now.
A team might take that chance, but
that's one hell of a contract. He the highest paid quarterback in the league, and they ain't playing.
I mean, like I said, a team might take a chance. You look at teams like the Atlanta Falcons. You think they won't be like, hey, give me Deshaun Watson to pair with Bijan Robinson and Kyle Pitts and
London? You gotta come you gotta come up off Bijan if that's the case. They probably gonna pull Bijan off of there.
But they got what's his name? They got
Chug.
They got Chug and other dude. So
bro, this is Chubb second gruesome looking knee injury. I don't think he coming back the same as we thinking.
Possibly, I think he'll be back. I like Chubb.
They're not gonna come off of him. Unless he comes back and he's showing signs of regression, then yeah. But if they not just finna, you hurt again, Bijan, come on. No, they ain't gonna do that. They gonna have.
I mean, they already feel like they can put any running back behind that line and they can show out. They got Ford showing out. They got Kareem Hunt that done showed out before behind that offensive line. Like they can do without Chubb.
Nah, bro. They not Nick Chubb, bro. Nick Chubb is a difference maker.
I ain't gonna lie, Nick Chubb is the running back for the Browns. He's that guy. He's that guy for the Browns. I ain't gonna lie, Nick Chubb is the guy.
Yeah, he that dude. He that dude. But
Next, next, yeah.
we're gonna segue off to the next game. Uh the game that made me frustrated. You got the Detroit Lions versus the Dallas Cowboys. Now let me say this here. The Detroit Lions basically they made me so frustrated. They gave up this game. I'm gonna start off first. They gave up this game, right? You got Jahmyr Gibbs, you got Montgomery. They're running the ball 9 yards a carry. Then you decide, oh, he got 9 yards. Let me drop back and let me throw the ball. Interception. What are we doing? What are we doing? Okay. You guys make this game tougher than what it was. And I think, me personally, I think it's a way for the NFL to try to say, hey, we don't need running backs. That's what it seemed like to me. But you ever notice that teams that run the ball successfully, they win games. They control the clock. They beat down the defense, right? The Dallas Cowboys defense is not that good against the run. Against the pass, I get them that. But against the run, you can run the football on their defense. And you saw Jahmyr Gibbs, he get the ball 9 yards. Montgomery, 5-6 yards. Right? It was very frustrating watching this. And, I ain't gonna lie. I wanted to drive to Dallas and steal off on the offensive coordinator. Not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm watching this and I'm like, what are you look, what are you doing? 1 + 1 is 2. Run the football. Run the ball. Right? You would have had a whole lot of success. Jared Goff wouldn't have threw those 2 interceptions if you ran the football. So that's my take on it. I'm not even gonna get into stats because I was so frustrated at the fact that y'all disregarded y'all 2 dogs y'all got back there in the backfield. So I'm gonna start with you first, B. Tell me what you thought about that game.
I'm gonna be quite honest. I got the same opinion, same point of view as you. Like the Detroit Lions gift wrapped it, put a bow, you know what I'm saying, and just handed it over to the Cowboys and said, "Here you go, here's the win for you." You know what I'm saying? The play calling was atrocious. The play calling was ill mannered. The timing was bad. It's like you got Jared Goff playing a mediocre game against a solid Cowboys defense when it comes to their secondary, and also their rushing attack. But at the same time, you're picking apart their run defense right now. So why would you put the ball in the air when you necessarily don't have to? And even if you are going to put the ball in there, just want a quick play action, like you said, Mike, the power play action, quick play action. Get a little drop off screen to St. Brown. Get a little drop off screen to Raymond. Get a little drop off screen to Gibbs. You can get it to Montgomery. Anything but trying to force the ball downfield against the Cowboys. And the run game was working, and you went away from it. I don't understand. Dan Campbell, you and your offensive coordinator, I don't know what wasn't clicking in y'all head this game, but you literally gave this game away. I don't care nothing about no referee call at the end. I don't care who reported as eligible and who didn't. It wouldn't have came down to this call if y'all would have kept running the ball. All you had to do was run the ball. The Cowboys had no clue how to stop it. And it's proof in the pudding since they met Arizona Cardinals in week whatever it was when the Cowboys played the Arizona Cardinals and they put a hat on a hat and it was physicality being implemented in the game in the run game. They ran the ball down their throats with James Conner and the rest of that Cardinals off rushing attack, and you got a better rushing attack than the Cardinals do, and you chose not to run the ball. You kept wanting to make Jared Goff the star of the game or the guy of the game. And again, let's take it all the way back to Pete Carroll in the Super Bowl against the Patriots. Why would you not get a ball to Marshawn Lynch on the goal line when you got 4 downs? You got 4 downs. You got 4 downs to give Marshawn Lynch the ball on the goal line, and you choose to call a slant on the goal line. You should have been intercepted. It should have been intercepted, pick six to the house. But anyways, as I digress, let's stick to the topic at hand. the Lions gave this game to the Dallas Cowboys. And I ain't gonna lie, neither one of these teams in this game impressed me. I don't think they impressed anybody else in the NFL. It was unsatisfying, especially for me to stay up late on a Saturday and stay up and say I want to watch this game. Y'all didn't put fear in anybody else in football when it comes to the playoffs. These two teams disappointed. I wouldn't want to see it again. Hopefully they get cut short in the playoffs and we don't have to listen to them or see them no more. That's all I got on this game. Mike, what you got?
Man, watching that game was crazy. Watching that game was crazy. I completely agree with you. The Lions gave this game to them. This is what they did. They tried to put their D on the table, and the Dallas Cowboys was the table, and it was a dice table that folded up on their D. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, what is what the hell are y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? You had three chances to get into the end zone. You should have had a mindset to go into be like, oh, this game ain't going the way I'm thinking it's gonna go, trying to be dominant, trying to push over the Dallas Cowboys. Cause it looked like Dan Campbell, he didn't want to go for it. Looked like Dan Campbell when they made it down there to the in the red zone. It looked like he was looking at it as like we going for two regardless. You can see on his face like nah, we still going for two. But bro, it's time you gotta tuck it. It's time you gotta tuck it in. You know what I'm saying? Keep the field goal, take it to overtime. I felt the way your offense was moving the ball, bro, y'all could have won that game in overtime. You lost that game.
Most
Y'all
definitely.
gonna meet it, and you made it harder on yourself because y'all gonna meet them again in the playoffs. Now they know what y'all game plan is to do, and like you made it harder on yourself, and y'all could have easily won that game and had them second guessing the next game plan when y'all meet in the playoffs.
Yep, I agree 100%.
And shout
Just
out to CD Lamb. You know what I'm saying? It's a few players that I hate that play for the Dallas Cowboys or that play for them. I hate seeing them in that ugly star. You know what I'm saying? Um, CD Lamb is that one. It used to be Ezekiel Elliott, but CD Lamb then took on the torch of the players that I hate playing for the Dallas Star. You know what I'm saying? He showed his ass, and he gonna get paid. Pay that man. What you got for us,
mhm.
Capote?
I got one more game. I know we running a little bit on time, so let's make it a little short. Eagles, they lose, right? They were up 15. They lose to the Cardinals. Very quick. This ain't gonna be long. You know, just give a quick. If you had a couple of words you could say about the Eagles, what do you feel like is wrong with them, and why do you feel like they lost this game? B, I'm gonna choose you first. What you got?
uh, I ain't gonna lie. If I could send a message to the Eagles right now, I would simply say, dig deep, dig deep, prove the people wrong. It's a new beginning. It's 2024. Forget about this game. Forget about this loss. Forget about the entire season. You still got an opportunity to get into the playoffs and make something of it. Now, where your head at, where your heart at, where your emotions at, I don't know. But at the same time, you need to find it, put it back in your soul, put it back in your body, and go play football. Because I ain't gonna lie, I was one of those people all season long talking about fly Eagles fly. And I know you go back and look at the tape, you go back and look at the scores. They've never really weren't won by a big margin this whole season. But again, in this game, when I seen the Cardinals start coming back, I knew it was trouble for the Eagles. I knew it was trouble. I knew it was trouble. But at the same time, I think you pointed this out to me, Capo. Uh, it's hard to go against somebody who's looking to prove something because they just vacated, you know, where you're at. The head coach of the Cardinals was just recently last season with the Eagles. So he was looking to prove a point. He was looking to make a statement. He was looking for the win of the season. They know they're not going to the playoffs. He just needed something to build off of. And you happen to walk into that storm and happen to be the people that take the brunt of that storm. So now he has something to build off of. Now he looks at his calendar and say, hey, in 2023, my first year as the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, I beat my former team who made it to the Super Bowl last season and lost it. So now he has a check mark on his calendar. He has something to look forward to. Sucks it had to be you, but it was you. So I would take this L with a grain of salt. Walk into next week, try to get you a dub, and walk into the playoffs and prove the entire world prove wrong. Other than your fans, nobody believes in you Eagles. I do. I'm not the fan, but I still believe in you. But right now, you got to put everything behind you. Put 2023 behind you. This is 2024. You get an opportunity to play again next week. You still got an opportunity to go into the playoffs. So move forward. Go ahead. Prove people wrong. Jalen Hurts, this is what you do anyway. You've been proving people wrong since the beginning of your career. Keep doing it now. Now is not the time to stop.
Yeah, that I like that. I like that. For me, you know what I'm saying? The Eagles missed their offensive coordinator that went to the Colts. It's been a couple games this season to where they really can't keep up, but they've been in game off of sheer strength and will of them making it to the Super Bowl. They are having a Super Bowl slump right now as a second team that lost it. You know what I'm saying? So it's it's more on the fact that they just don't have enough offensively because the play calling ain't there anymore. You know what I'm saying? It ain't there no more, so they can't keep up with teams. And Kyler Murray just that random wild card quarterback that can continue to make a game more than what it is. He got some Jackson traits. I ain't gonna disrespect him, but Kyler, you got some real traits back there where you can avoid the alignment to where it can look like child's play to you. So it's if you can't keep up with a quarterback that's by himself, as in Kyler Murray, you know what I'm saying? You got a dominant team, then you're gonna lose that game, bro. And that's exactly what y'all went out there and did that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all defense are aging till this day, besides Jalen Carter, you know what I'm saying, that may win defensive rookie of the year. But yeah, bro, y'all just don't have enough right now to compete with other offenses. Like y'all offensive coordinator is 1 year in the game. That's all I got for that one. Capote, what
Mm.
you got?
Real quick, the offensive coordinator was the offensive coordinator at U of H, Brian Johnson, and you know me, I'm all about supporting my black people. But at the end of the day, if you're not getting the job done, you gotta go. And he's not that guy. You know what I mean? He's not a good. And I get it. They was trying to keep it, in the family because he was the quarterback coach and he worked with Jalen. But at the same time, you got to bring a guy in there who's going to bring wrinkles to your offense. And I just think that Brian Johnson is not getting the job done. So I don't expect him to be back next year. Um, the Eagles team, like I said, got a lot they got to work on. They got to do some soul searching going into the playoffs. They basically crawling into the playoffs, and they got to do some soul searching or they gonna get bounced. And that's just what it is. They can lose out if they don't win next week, right? I think the Cowboys are ahead of them right now to win the division. So they got some soul searching they got to do. Because they could be playing in a wild card spot, and they the way they playing right now, they can get bounced out by somebody. So like I said before, they got some soul search they got to do. Their defense got to step up, and that's just what it is. I know they got some injuries, but at the same time, it's next man up. It's the NFL. This is not middle school. This ain't pee wee. This ain't high school. You're in the NFL, so you're so called the best of the best, right? and Mike has had side conversations with somebody else about this issue. But you're so-called the best of the best. So next man up, you got to be ready to play, and that's just what it is. B, you want to close up?
Yes, sir. You know what it is, folks. You know what I'm saying? Again, from us to you, you know what I'm saying? Happy New Year. You know what I'm saying? This is a great time to be alive. It's for me, I label this year the continuation of what we started last year on this podcast. You know what I'm saying? You know what the mindset is. It's in the name. You know what I'm saying? The mindset is always toward greatness. You know what I'm saying? So that's my fan right there. That's Mike. You know what it is. That's my main man right there. Boss Hall, Boss Dog, K Post to the door. I'm Brody on the hustle, you know what I'm saying? I was born in the tussle, and I'm getting it and give it to you out the muscle. We want you to continue to like, subscribe, share, comment, hate, whatever you want to do. Just make sure you leave some positive, corrective criticism for us to lean on. You know what I'm saying? After all that, you know what I'm saying? But that's NFL Week 17 reaction wrap up. You know what I'm saying? Again, Happy New Year to everybody out there. We look forward to seeing y'all in the future, but we have no more left to say. We out of here.
Pull up on us. We out.